Hello, my dear friends. Morpheus here with you once again, trying to bring in a little bit of the red pill into your life, a bit of truth about trading. Today, we're going to look again at the fact that market is not chaos. We're going to be doing that once again through the power of macros. A wonderful, wonderful thing about knowing exactly what second, what asset will be creating an impulse. And today we're going to be taking advantage of that in approximately 10 minutes from now. Actually, let's kind of go right to it, to their wonderful platform at Pocket Option. If you sign up through the link to Pocket below, you get some massive, massive advantages with regards to cashbacks and bonuses. Something that I can talk to you about one-on-one if you guys ever feel the need to touch base, to get some questions and clarity to these, to your questions. You can do that via Telegram channel. You'll talk to me directly one-on-one. Let's see if maybe I can answer some questions and help you get ahead. All right, so going to Forex Factory, what we're looking at is the schedule for this particular week. There we go. We're selecting it and doing it with you for the first time, but I know about it ahead of time, essentially. Today, wait a second, are we in this week? Yeah, today's the 14th, and the CPI, was it removed? Hold on, let's take a look again. Okay, we got, so today being Thursday, AUD, maybe they've classified it differently. It should have been this week. Today being Wednesday at 3:30, I think that they moved it. Well, let's take a look together if this is actually the case, kind of a surprise for us. We will be, they moved it to yesterday, CPI. Last week it was scheduled to be, today, but if we take a look, let's actually go back maybe into yesterday, and see, there we go, yesterday at 15:30, there it is. A spike followed by a retracement. And this is where we have to actually, yeah, we have to be aware of such things, kind of look at the economic calendar on daily basis, I guess, because, last week it was scheduled to have been on Wednesday, and it usually is Wednesday. Actually, it's usually on Wednesday after the NFP, right? So Friday was the NFP, which, well, it was supposed to have been on Wednesday the 7th, but they pushed it to Wednesday the 14th. But sometime after, maybe after I've seen this, they've moved it to the 13th. So, actually, right now we do have an opportunity to kind of maybe discuss anything else really that's on the mind. I'm actually, kind of open to some questions. If anybody got any questions, um, if anybody's got some questions, we are able to clarify them and, do some live trading with you guys right now. Maybe well, actually, let's do parabolic SAR. Kind of like we're actually going to probably rename the stream into how to win tournaments. Now, I know I've talked about this with most of my VIPs, with some of my clients, but I kind of want to share this with you right now. So we do have certain instruments like, well, the ability to set up trend lines, and this is usually done by placing the line at the top of the body of a particular, essentially downward movement. Anytime the asset reaches 2 points, you kind of take this line, extend it further, and what happens is that anytime that the asset bounces away from this line, again, if it touches it 3 or more times, right, in this case it touched it 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, once it bounced away, once it breaks through, chances are that there's going to be a bit of a continuation. So look, right now we're able to set up right from top of this one. There we go. If this one goes down, we're able to kind of understand that this is the second point. We're extending it if it bounces a little bit further. But basically, this is essentially any time there is a 2-point contact, right? So we start on this right here as well. 1, 2, and in this case, we're going to see if this is something that's going to bounce up a little bit higher, and parabolic actually shows that it is. We're probably looking maybe at a channel that slightly declines. This is actually kind of an interesting, aspect as well. So, or it's going kind of into a pinching factor. So we're going to see what really in the next couple of minutes what the asset does. But what I want to point out is that we're able to open a position with a flag, right? Not a timer, but in this particular instance, if we change this to zeros, and there we go in the next minute, what I'm able to do essentially is open a position till the end of the candle. Look, we got 10 seconds, and it's, or in this case, a minute and 10 seconds. But essentially what I want to do is follow the signals from one indicator. In this case, it's parabolic. Well, we don't even need a shaft here. But what we're looking for is a statistical probabilities, right? So in this case, this position is probably going to be a negative, but we got 40 seconds. We opened it just a little bit sooner, but I wanted to be over exactly, right, in 34 seconds. At this candle's end, we're going to be looking at a win or a lose. But if the dots are on the bottom, you keep buying. If the dots are on the top, you keep selling. And usually within 3 or 4 candles, you should be in the money. And that means that you're able to kind of have this like a snowball effect. So let's take a look. Okay, so in our case, we definitely would have won this position, even if I opened it at the beginning of this candle. So I'm going to again close it. You got to be a little bit faster than this. There we go, and we just follow the parabolic in this case, right? So in this case right here, if you would have opened at the opening of the candle, it closed lower, so you'd have lost. Here, if you would have bought, it closed lower, you would have lost. But in this case, if you opened here, it certainly closed higher, you would have won. Third step martingale, you're back in the green. All right, so let's see, no questions so far. All right, but do encourage you to sign up, do encourage you to kind of touch base, get some answers, get some clarity. Now we got, all right, so let's kind of zoom in a little bit more. We got, once again, upward buying signals. Let's see, this one might go south, so let's kind of go into the second step martingale, and we'll see. All right, so next position, there we go, we're opening up. I didn't upgrade, there we go, we're opening for, and you know what, I think I messed up, because I think that one was a winning trade, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a winning trade. All right, so we, kind of, in this case, I mean, the next position would be $4, but it's still parabolic, is still on top, at the bottom, saying that you should continue to buy, and that's exactly what we're going to do in 35 seconds. All right, so moving up one candle, there we go, 1 minute, and in 20 plus seconds, we're going to get the end result of this, so we're going to open the next position. Now, the reason why I'm opening for $1 is, for $1, or, in this case, kind of small amount in regards to the real account, because you're actually going to have $100 in the tournament, right? So you can't really, you're actually going to have 6 steps if you multiply by a multiplier of 1.5. All right, so very important to understand. There we go. It closes. We're opening again for a buy because parabolic is still said, parabolic still says buy. So in this case, here it says buy. You would have lost. Here it says buy. You would have lost. Here it says buy. You know what? We might actually go into the fourth step martingale to be able to win, but just in case, right? So we go here, and in this case, because our $4 is and $2 is 6. The next one is going to be for 12 bucks. And we're going to continue with this. Actually, I'm going to show you that there might be, usually it's done within 3 steps. Sometimes there will be 4. Even rarer, it's going to be 5. Super rare, but it does happen. It could be 6 steps of martingale. So just be aware of that sometimes it happens. Actually, right now, we could get a switch of parabolic from bottom to top, which actually would signal a sell. But for now, we're still buying, right? We're still sticking with this. There we go. And as I said, you can take a look at through this historically speaking, right? So if we take a look, so lose, 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 probably going to win, right? In this case, lose, lose, win. Well, in this case, right here it was selling, it was lose. Right here it says buying, it was lose. So actually, this would have been on the fourth step martingale here. But in this candle, it said sell. You would have made money. Here you would have lost. Here you would have made. And once again, we already covered this. But if you go back, right, so here, buy, you would have won. Buy, you would have won. Here you would have lost. But here, you on the second step martingale, you would have won. Here it says, buy, definitely a loss. Sell, you would have won, again. So statistically speaking, this is kind of like a nice approach um, to be winning tournaments. If you start with a multiplier of 1.5, right? In this case, there we go. We won. So let's just very quickly take a look. So we lost 2, we lost 4, we won 4, on the 12. So we won $11. So we subtract out of $11, we subtract our 6. That we lost 2 and 4 means that we're $5 in profit. Right? So now we go back in this case, to $1. And we continue. We move our next minute. Right? And there we go. We actually got a sell signal now because the parabolic switched from the bottom to the top. There it is. And we got Kryptonaut. Hey, buddy. Thank you for joining us. Super, super happy to see you here, brother. Actually, Kryptonaut is one of my VIPs. We do private lessons together. We're kind of getting this across to him as well. And actually, I would say, there we go. We do have a nice channel right now with a 2-point contact. We got 1, we got 2, we got 1, we got 2. So we're going to see if the asset goes down. Did we win? Yes, we did win. So I should have been a little bit more uh, attentive. No, we didn't win on the previous one. So actually, I should have opened the $2 position here. We're gonna do that. Still gonna be till the end of the candle, right? 30, some odd seconds. There we go. 30 seconds from now, it should close a little bit lower. Second, candle from for martingale. So if this was a 2, that means the next one should be a 5. There we go. And we're going to go to the next minute. So in this time, I will be a little bit extra attentive in case this fails. And it looks like it might be, but that's okay. If it turns green, that's fine. We still go with a sell signal for the next martingale. And 2, 1, open right there. There we go. All right. And once again, statistically speaking, we do have, in any kind of negative movement, there will be little hiccups. There's going to be a bit of retracement. So it's okay. But statistically speaking, you should be able to, after maybe a nice long upward movement, you will be able to have a really nice, decent long one. You'll see that, in the money, actually starting from this candle right here, right, you would have been in the money if following just parabolic SAR, which nobody ever advises this, to follow only one indicator. But in this case, at the end of every minute, you will have an opportunity for a result, right? And it's still based on the signal. Now, we lost 1, we lost 2, we lost 5, that's 18, so the next one will have to be around 16. Right, so there we go. We're selling still with 16 based on the parabolic. Right, actually, we would have been, I don't know why we weren't in the money here. It should have been lower. But we lost, and it looks like we might actually lose this one as well. But once again, this is something that is factored into your 6 steps worth of martingale. Alright, so let's take a look. Alright, so we need to see what we're doing here. Alright, so we lost 1. Okay, so we lost 1. We lost 2. We lost 5. That's 8. We're going to lose 16, 24. And if we multiply 24 by 2, in this case, this is going to be what? 48, right? 48 bucks. So let's take a look next, and probably should be final step here for 48. For a sell. Alright, so we're still following signals. There we go on the 421 sell. Oh, that missed the expiration. Let's sell. There we go. Alright, 48, and this is probably going to be my last one, because if we're following the tournament kind of mentality, 24 plus 48, right, this is going to be around, essentially $100. So you might not win every single tournament with this kind of approach, but if you allow the multiplier to be maybe a little bit more conservative, and maybe not, because I am multiplying by 2 instead of by 1.5, this is something that, actually, yeah, it looks like it should switch to the bottom. There we go. Alright, what we do is kind of like super risky. I don't know, taking chances is never really a good idea. There's super volatility right here. It looks like it could be the winning, but by the skin of the teeth, and it probably will not. So, look at that. We are in the money, baby. Alright, so didn't really do so good in regards to 48, 16, 5, and 3, but we won 138 on the big one. Essentially where it counts. So at the beginning of this candle, I opened for a higher position. We certainly closed a bit higher. Skin of the teeth, but statistically and historically speaking, this is something you should keep in mind. Now, we do have a 3-point contact. It's not an exact science, but we do have a 3-point contact. 1, 2, 3. And actually, we do have another possible movement, right? So if we look at the time scale, right, in this case, we started here at 1518, actually a little bit sooner, right? 1510, the asset, so for about 20 or so minutes, the asset was going in this channel, going a bit kind of like downward, right, between this line and this line right here. But now from, 1521, it started to go a little bit higher. So right now we're looking at an asset that might be coming to this level, touching it 3rd time, and bouncing away. And at that point, this was going to become a very, very nice level of interest. This is something that we should also keep an eye on. It's kind of pinching effect. Interesting thing about pinching effect, whenever you see a particular trend that starts to get squeezed by support and resistance level, what you are able to anticipate that the move after the breakout, right, if it breaks out right now on the top, because it is a 3rd point contact, right, 1, 2, 3 on the after the 3rd point contact, if it breaks through, chances are it could reach the level, right, particular level of interest. So if it does it a little bit later, we could see that it might reach the previous high, right, so around that. And if it touches on the bottom right now for the 3rd time and bounces away, we got a 3-point contact. And if on the 4th time it crashes through this, chances are it's going to actually crash through to the bottom of at this case right here to this level. So we do have some nice, actually, wow, look at that. We do have some nice levels of support. Let's see if this is kind of touches any of this. Look at that. See, it kind of very close. Touched, rebound, right? So this is also something worth looking in a bit longer term. All right, we got got no new questions. It's okay. So, my dear friends, today we're going to rename the stream because we were actually, I was actually fooled a bit by the CPI, the second most, popular macro statistic. Should have been released today. It was on schedule to be released today, but they moved it. They moved it to Tuesday. Yesterday, there it is at 3:30. It's, actually, wait, I'm looking at myself, looking at the graph, but, the schedule, there it is. So it was scheduled for today at 3:30, but it was moved to Tuesday. So that's why we took a little bit of an advantage of, this time since we're already together to talk about the parabolic having an ability to give you a signal every single minute. And if you look through it statistically, historically speaking, you shouldn't really need more than 3 steps or so martingale. Very rare 4, even rarer 5. Super rare it could go into 6 or 7. That's why you do need to plan your martingale accordingly. But kind of showed you through historically right that we are able to kind of progress. So 1, 2, 2. See, you lost. There's a 41 on 12. You got this money back, and you're still in profit. This was a bit of skin of the teeth, but I think I was just a little bit distracted with regards to moving money properly back and forth. And setting the flag, right? And this is actually very important. When we choose the time, actually right here, there's supposed to be a flag. This is a timer. See, when you select the timer, with the problem with the timer that it carries over to the next minute, right? So if you select 15 seconds, right now, it's not going to finish at the end of this candle, but it's going to go over into the next one. That's why we click. There it is. We click, we get the flag. You got this on the zeros. And the following minute, right? So, oh, there we go, the following minute on the zeros. And when you open the position, right, it kind of does it right at the end of the candle. So we see, oh, I went to the next minute again. No, 44 seconds, there we go, 44 seconds, so the time matches. So when you enter at the beginning of the candle and it closes at the end, if you're fast enough in terms of moving this and the amount, your profits, you just wait. Candle closes, you're in the money, you immediately open the next one, just based on this. So the way it works out is that you start with $1, the next one is like $1.50. It might take you like 15, 20 minutes to get to $110, right? To get like $10 worth of profit. At that point, you can start not from $1, but $1.10. So the more money you get on the tournament, essentially the bigger the first investment becomes, and the quicker you make, a little bit more. So you do have to spend a bit of time, but if you factor in approximately, but when you factor in approximately, a little bit of time, you are able to, maybe get yourself in the top 3 of a free tournament. It's going to be loading. My internet is not ideal today, but anyways, there's free tournament every single month, every single day, for a day, and it's really just about the time. When is next year? Okay, now the next stream. Actually, you know what? A very good question from Gary. Gary, thank you for joining us, buddy. Let's take a look. Let's take a look next week. If we find something next week worth our attention. All right. So today, right, we're in June. No, not in June. No, June 24th. All right. Let's go back to the previous month. There we go. All right. Let's take a look what we got next week. All right. So Monday, there's nothing. Australia. Oh, you know what? There we go. Tuesday. So far. Tuesday, Canada. Canada is the neighbor of the United States, which is kind of cool because like 70% of exports from Canada go to United States, and essentially the dollar, or essentially the biggest economy in the world, is impacting Canadian economy pretty good. So we do have the CPI, right, Consumer Price Index for Canada. Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. So we're going to note this. I'm going to take a look at this closer to that date. We do have on Wednesday, we have a GBP CPI. Well, let's see. We got Flash Manufacturing. Oh, no, no, no. All right, my dear friends, we got Thursday. Thursday, I'm going to be with you around, well, much earlier than today because we do have French Flash Manufacturing PMIs. In services PMIs, we also got 15 minutes later one from Germany. These are the ones that usually move the market. We do have the GBP, same thing, and a little bit later we do have same kind of statistics from the United States. So on Thursday, next stream is going to be on Thursday with May 22nd. If nothing changes, I will be posting kind of reminder on my Telegram channel. Hop in there to get some thoughts, ideas, get some answers to your questions. And my friends, this is not about luck. This is about being prepared. I do encourage you to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, keep updates, leave comments. I'm certainly going to want to give you as much clarity about any of these topics at hand. So thanks so much. I will see you all next week.